Hey, everybody. This is Ken Tucker of Changescape Web. Welcome to this episode of the local St. Charles podcast. Today, I am featuring Paul Barthel, who's also with Changescape. Welcome, Paul.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, you know. So, today we're going to talk about digital marketing for small businesses that focus on local serving. That could be serving a local service area, or it could be a brick and mortar where you're drawing in patients, clients, or customers, from a local region. So in my mind, that's a completely different and specialized type of marketing. So Paul, um, let's go ahead and get started. So you and I have known each other for a long time, and I know we've been working together since at least 2015, if not before. And we've been involved with the St. Charles Regional Chamber, through the technology committee before we even started working together. So we've got a long history.
Yeah, yeah. Started with the St. Charles County Technology Committee.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that was a lot of fun. I think we've always just had a passion for learning about technology stuff and digital marketing stuff. So I wanted to ask you, just at a 50,000 foot view, what do you think are some of the top digital marketing strategies that a small local business could utilize for their business?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are changing. You have uh, AI. Unless you've been living under a rock, you had to have heard of AI and how that is influencing things. And I think that's something you can't ignore because it's gonna affect everything. But you know, we do another podcast for small businesses, and we talk about this a lot. And I think that automation is key, and and I look at it as a strategy that you have to have a CRM. Yeah, I mean, if you're not utilizing a CRM, and I mean a CRM that is really, it's a real CRM. You have a lot of companies out there, a lot of business, and I don't mean the small business. I mean the CRMs. They have an operations piece of software,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
they try to put on top of that a CRM, and it's not. It is not a marketing CRM. They have an operations platform, an operations software, and it does what it does really well, but it is not a marketing CRM. And if you're not utilizing a marketing CRM, I can guarantee you your competitors are. And that puts you at a disadvantage because it can do a lot of things for you. It can automate a lot of these redundant things for you. It can free up your office staff to do things that they're just basically wasting time doing. And I I look at that as a part of strategy. You have to do things to increase the efficiency and productivity of your business, and a marketing CRM can do that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think another couple of key components there is it makes sure that nothing falls through the cracks because you can automate reminders to your staff, or to yourself, and then you can also, every small business that I know of, they leak leads,
Oh, every
and
day.
we all work hard and we pay a lot of money to get leads coming into our business, and the right marketing focused CRM, not an operational based CRM, And believe me, I mean, you're going to get you when you talk to these companies, these software providers, like you said, Paul, they're going to make it sound like they can do everything in the world from a marketing perspective, but it's an afterthought. You really need to be working on and with a platform that's a marketing focused customer relationship management system that is driven around automation, speed of response, and so you don't miss any of those leads that are coming in. You have a strategy, you have a tool set that can provide that immediate response.
Yeah, and the other thing is it it allows you to segment your customers. And what I mean by that, I use this analogy a lot. Let's say you're a local painting company and you've done, let's say you've done cabinet painting for someone, but you haven't done other types of interior painting, or you haven't done exterior painting. You can segment that and deliver very targeted email email campaigns, because if you've, let's say you've done interior painting for someone and you decide you're going to do an email marketing campaign, and you send someone an email for interior painting 2 weeks after you did interior painting for them, that can irritate them. But if you segment your audience, well, now you can say, okay, we did interior painting for these people, or we did cabinet painting for these people, but we haven't done exterior painting for these people. Well, now you can deliver a targeted email campaign for the people that you have not done exterior painting for. And that's one thing that a marketing focused CRM does for you. It allows you to segment your audience and be very effective with email marketing, which has the highest ROI of any type of marketing.
Yeah. I think it's 4,400% return on investment for every dollar you spend. So anybody who says that email marketing is dead, they are flat wrong. It is, as you said, it is the best channel. It's way better than social media. Now, that's not to say that, there are always going to be the exceptions to the rule. There are going to be some local businesses that are just knocking it out of the park just by using social media. Um, I think that some of that's luck. I think some of it's based on the personal talents of some people within the company. It's not a system that's making that happen. It's the power or charisma of the personality and their understanding of how to be able to use social media. An email marketing system done right is a system. It's repeatable. It works across industries and can be very powerful. Paul, let's talk about segmentation. I mean, it's really easy, right? I mean, you can create what's called a tag in a CRM and associate that with a contact record, and then you can filter on that tag to basically create the segmentation you're talking about. So you could run you could run a dynamic list in your CRM of anybody with the tag of exterior painting, and then you could send them an email offer about exterior painting to people that are either interested in it, or you can use that tag to exclude people. Either way, right?
If you're using a good CRM, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's still CRMs out there that work on lists, and you create different lists, but they don't have the capability to develop dynamic lists based on tags. And that is powerful. I remember, years ago, you know, in your email system, whatever email you use, you had folders and you would put things in folders. And then Google came along and came up with this thing called labels. So, and you could put the same email, you could apply the multiple labels to the same emails. And at first, it was like, well, why would I do this? But after you did it, after you really understood the power of that, it made a lot of sense. And that's what you're talking about with tags. With you can apply these different tags to contacts. Well, the power of that is if the CRM allows you to dynamically create, the CRM we use calls it smart list. If you can dynamically create a list based on tags, that's where the power of that is. So that's something, if you're looking at a CRM, that's something to say, okay, will this CRM, whatever CRM you're trying to sell me, can I create dynamic lists based on tags? And then again, the CRM we use, you can actually save that as what's called a smart list. And that's a good question to ask. Is it, will this CRM allow me to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So speed of response is just massively important when it comes to winning business. As a matter of fact, study after study shows that the business that responds first has like more than a 75% chance of winning that business, regardless of price. It's purely based on the fact that somebody responded. And in this day and age, especially with the challenges I know a lot of small businesses have been facing in terms of, labor shortages or, just being super busy, because in some segments of, and some businesses, they've been incredibly busy over the last couple of years. In other cases, they can't hire enough people, or maybe they have both of those problems. And, so it makes it difficult for them to be able to respond quickly to somebody who reaches out and says, "Hey, I want an estimate to repair my roof," or, I want to make reservations. Do you accept reservations? Or I want to book an appointment, to get my back adjusted. If you don't respond quickly, you're going to lose business. And your competitors are going to thank you for it because you're creating an opportunity for them. But the chances are, reality, unfortunately, is that your competitors probably aren't doing it either. So if you do a fast response system, you are going to stand way ahead, head and shoulders above your competition in terms of winning business. How would you go about doing that?
Oh, one thing we implement for our clients is called a missed call text back. We work with a lot of small businesses, a lot of service area businesses, and look, they're busy. So if someone calls and no one answers the phone, we immediately send them a text saying, "Hey, sorry we missed your phone call. Someone will be in touch." However you want to phrase that for your business. But that also sends a reminder to the person in the office or the business owner or anyone you want and it says, "Hey, you missed this call. You need to get back with these people." And we live in a day where your prospects they're younger. They're comfortable with technology. They've grown up with technology. They know it's an automated response. They don't care that it's an automated response. They care that you responded. And they're not going to babysit you. If you don't respond to them, they're gone. They're going to move on to the next person, the next business. They're going to move on to your competitor. And like you said, speed of response is critical because we live in an instant gratification world. And if you don't respond to them, they're moving on.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people, look, they've got a gazillion things they're trying to get done each and every day. And when you when you go online and you contact a business, you call and leave a voicemail message, or fill out a form on a website. You wash your hands, you're done. You accomplish that task. You're going to move on to something else until the problem that you were facing surfaces again, or it comes back into your consciousness. What we're talking about is a text response system. When somebody calls the business and nobody answers it live, we immediately send a text. That text can drive people to an automated calendar booking link, that where they can schedule an appointment, make a reservation, schedule a free estimate, whatever it might be based on the nature of the business. So that, but because look, the world changed with COVID, and people, they just want to go book a time online with somebody that is going to help them solve their problem, and get that done and get it scheduled at their convenience, and not have to hassle with sending emails or dealing with phone calls back and forth. Are you available on this date? No, but what about this date? No, what about this date? No, people don't want to do that anymore. You need to have an automated booking calendar, and that's a core function of a marketing CRM. And having an automated response system in case you can't answer the phone live or respond to a form right away, that's a great next step. The other thing too, that's a powerful feature of system we use, which is called Local Leads IQ. It's actually our system. You can actually not only send a notification to somebody in the business, hey, you just missed a phone call. Here's their information. Press any button to continue, to automatically contact them, and it'll place the call for them. And look, we live in a world where there are so many unwanted, unsolicited phone calls that each and every business gets. Right now, I bet I get 2 dozen a day. And it drives me nuts. And I don't want to waste my time talking to something that's not even a real phone call, because most of these are automated messages that are just sent by phone. That you're not even going to be talking to a real person about something that you really don't care about. That's a complete interruption. This kind of a system also actually filters all of that kind of stuff out. And I get why people don't answer their phones live. A lot of times, if you don't look down and recognize the phone number, chances are it's a spam call, even if it doesn't register as a spam call on your phone.
That's me.
Um,
If I don't
you
recognize a number,
know?
leave a voicemail. If you don't leave a voicemail, it must not be important.
Right. And so, just imagine all you busy business owners and managers that are out there. If you got a phone call, and you've fallen victim to, getting these dozens of calls a day that are just annoyances. Imagine a system that would be in place that would allow you to pre-screen a call and say, oh, okay, well, that doesn't, they actually left a voicemail message. I can listen to it. And you hit a button and immediately call that business back or that person back. That's a really powerful system. So,
Yeah,
um,
call to connect. And something else on that, if you have a long sales cycle, a good marketing CRM allows you to put nurture campaigns in place. Because
yeah,
if you're selling a high ticket item, like say you're selling the Hardy siding, people aren't going to decide in one day. Well, yeah, some people will, but generally speaking, people aren't going to. Oh, hey, okay, I'm gonna spend $50,000 on siding. That's a long sales cycle, and a good marketing CRM allows you to put nurture campaigns in place.
yeah, it gives you the ability to also capture the contact information in the first place. You build a sales funnel where you offer something of value to somebody. It could be an ebook or a checklist to help them learn more as they're just beginning their buyer's journey. And then like you said, Paul, you build an email nurture campaign. Again, you've got to provide value. That ebook or that checklist, has to have real value to help somebody solve their problem. But when you do that, you can build a really great automated follow-up machine that gives people the ability to reach out and directly contact the business whenever they're ready, which is really what you're trying to accomplish in the first place. The average, number of marketing touches that are required in this day and age is easily a dozen or more for most businesses. And in some cases, it's a couple of dozen. And what that means is before somebody's actually ready to talk to anybody within the business. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about text marketing, because I am blown away by how many businesses don't realize the power of a good text marketing program. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that's I think there's some psychology that comes in here. Is that a lot of times me, we all get text messages, and it can be irritating. And I think what happens with a lot of small businesses there, well, I don't want to do text marketing because I get these text marketing messages and it just pisses me off and it irritates me. But it works, okay? And you have to get outside yourself, because text messages get opened. They have a much higher open rate than email. And again, you get into a lot of these, your client base is getting younger, okay? The longer you're in business, your prospective customers, your prospects, are very comfortable with text messaging. I joke around a lot that kids today would buy a house through text messaging if they could. And they use it, they respond to it, and it works. And if you're not using a text messaging marketing program and your competitors are, you're going to get your butt kicked. All right. That's just how it is, because text message marketing works. And if you're not utilizing it and your competitor is, you're going to lose.
Yeah, you make a good point. I think, a lot of times people make a decision. I know you and I could probably talk about dozens of times we've had clients or prospective clients tell us, "Oh, well, I don't want to do that because I hate that platform." So Facebook is a common one. Text marketing is a common one. Yelp is another common one that people always want to complain about. But look, don't let your personal biases dictate and eliminate a really good, effective marketing tool. Just because you don't like the platform or the way it works, doesn't mean that it's not the right platform. Now, you need to work with somebody who gets marketing strategy, because look, that platform may not be right. So I mean, you have to go through a process of determining that. But you know, like you said, text marketing done right with a real text marketing system where people opt in, where they can opt out just by typing the word stop, can be incredibly powerful. For most businesses, as a matter of fact, I can't think of hardly any business, if there is a business out there, the cheapest form of customer acquisition is to get a past customer to come back and buy again. And how do you do that? You do that by leveraging your contacts in a customer relationship management system, and you keep sending them either emails or text messages in a well thought out way, well designed way, to get them to come back and, one, become a customer again and buy from you again. Could be buying a new product. It could be rebuying a product, or coming in for another meal, or, a variety of things. And look, if you don't have a business where there's a lot of repeat purchase opportunity, like a roofer, once you put a roof on somebody's house, they're not going to need a new roof, typically, unless there's storm damage for, a couple of decades, right?
Yeah, 20
But
years.
that still doesn't mean that you don't want to stay in contact with them, because they could refer you. They could write a review about your business, both of which are incredibly important. And if you do offer some recurring services like gutter cleaning or annual roof maintenance inspections, just to make sure if somebody's worried about, leaking uh, water in their house, or if they've got wildlife problems and they just want somebody to come out and periodically check and make sure that wildlife's not getting into the attic or whatever. Then a text marketing program again can be very powerful. So don't write off solutions just because you've had a bad experience or you don't think a platform is, you don't like the way it works. Let's talk a little bit about
Well, actually,
online. Oh, go ahead.
I have a couple thoughts on that on two things on the platform, and we've talked about this in the past. Is that everyone thinks that not everyone, a lot of people they think social media is some kind of silver bullet, and you have to look at certain types of businesses work better on social media than others. If you are a lifestyle type business, okay, um, Facebook might be great for you. And we've talked about this on our other podcast. If you're an accountant, Facebook, you should have a presence on Facebook, but that may not be the best platform for you. If you are an interior designer, a visually focused type of business, or a photographer, Pinterest may be a great platform for you. So you have to keep that in mind. What business are you in, and is one social media platform better for you than others, or is social media where you should be spending your time and energy? And you talked about the text messaging. We have, and this can work for a lot of businesses. We have a client, it's an automotive repair shop, and if they're slow, they'll send out a text message about, hey, we have a special on oil change, or whatever. And I was talking to him the other day, and I think last year he generated about $15,000 in revenue just from that. Just when they were slow, he'd say, okay, let's send out a text message. We're slow. Let's send out a text message about a special on an oil change, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of additional revenue just from sending out a text message.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that also frustrates you and I a lot, I know, is, people, they think a couple of things. One is they think, if I post once a week on social media, then, that's good enough. But the other thing that drives us nuts is, it really, if you're going to try to get people to come back and buy from your business, and you have, um, you've got to think about the quality of your offer. It's not just enough to put a message out there, whether it's text message, email, if you're doing a Facebook ad or a Yelp ad, or Google ads for that matter. it, you've got to have a quality offer that means something to the specific audience that you're trying to reach. And so that drives me nuts that people don't give any thought to the offers that they make. And then they get frustrated with a platform not being able to do its job. And it's like, there are a lot of different strategies. If you're working with a marketing person who really understands marketing strategy, that can help you leverage the power of offers so that you're not giving your business away basically through all the profit margin just because you're so desperate to get somebody into your store or door or wherever. Um, so I know that drives me nuts, and I think it drives you nuts as well.
Yeah, you have to have a compelling offer. Here, think about this. If let's say you're an HVAC company and I'm a homeowner and I have an HVAC company that I already deal with, and I'm happy with them, why should I change? Okay, I have an HVAC company that I deal with. They already, they do the annual inspection, and I'm happy with them. And you come, and you come along and you want me to give you a shot. Okay, why? What what is your offer? How are you going to compel me to change companies? I've been dealing with this company for X amount of years. Like I said, I'm happy with them, and you want me to try. Why? And that's where you have to have a compelling offer. You have to give me a reason to say, okay, I'll consider using you.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing I want to talk about, because we could go on for days, is we often do amongst ourselves. I want to talk a little bit about online advertising versus search engine optimization. A lot of people think search engine optimization is something that can be done a couple of $100 a month. And
Well, if you don't
yeah,
want it to be effective, it can.
yeah, exactly. Not every business, first of all, can afford nor do they need to have full-blown search engine optimization programs in place. It's not a cheap proposition for most businesses. It's more in the thousands of dollars than the hundreds of dollars. Um, but you know, a lot of businesses don't have that kind of money, and so I think again, when you're thinking about who are your ideal clients, what's your marketing budget, um, how can you get more people into your business, you have to think about, can I do search engine optimization? Can I afford it? How, it takes months. Can I wait for that to happen? Should I just be doing a paid ad strategy instead? There are a lot of different factors that go into play. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, a paid strategy can be good, but keep this in mind, is that you may not, you don't necessarily have to do a full-blown SEO strategy. There's, you can do things that focus on local SEO. You can get the basics in place. So let's start with the website. Is there's a lot of companies out there, agencies, business, whatever, that they'll build you a good looking website, but they don't build that website with a lot of the SEO fundamentals in place. So there's a lot you can do, things like structured data, and I'm not going to get into the technical aspects of what that is, but when you build a website, you can do a lot of things as you're building that website to put some SEO fundamentals in place, and that will help you a lot. Paid strategies definitely have their play, paid advertising, Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, whatever they are. But if you're generating the majority of your business from paid ads, if you turn that off, that business goes away. And SEO is, yes, it does take time. It can take 6 months, 9 months. It does take time for that to really build and start delivering results. But once that's in place, it feeds on itself. It's ongoing. It keeps delivering results.
Yeah. you know, from a lot of businesses, they may just need a quick hit, influx of new business. And one of the great things about a paid strategy is you can turn it on and off, relatively speaking. You don't want to go crazy with it. Trying to do it for super short times like running an ad campaign for a week and expecting that to rock your world is probably not the most realistic plan on the planet. Um, but it gives you the ability, and some businesses, they can't afford to take on a ton of business, but they need enough to fill in some of their slow times. And text message marketing program is great for that. Paid ads can be really effective for that. Um, you know, the other channel that I think is, I mean, social media, people think about running ads on social media a lot, and obviously Google.
Well,
Um,
and let me jump in there real quick about Google. Google Ads algorithm changes constantly, and they have really been implementing AI over the past few years. And what has changed from the past is that, first of all, you have to spend enough money, and this sucks for small businesses. It really does, because you have to spend enough money for Google's AI to optimize the campaigns. And you, in the past, it's very true, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. Well, the problem now is that if you're running Google ads and you get a campaign going in and it's delivering results, and you say, okay, I I want to turn this off. Well, you turn it off for a couple of weeks and then you turn it back on. Now Google's AI, it starts over. So now it has to relearn what it learned, and it doesn't pick up where it left off, so to speak. It has to start over. And turning your paid, and this goes back to the paid strategy versus organic SEO. You turn those ads off for a couple of weeks. Now that AI, it's basically starting over. And now Google has come out with this Performance Max campaign, which I won't go into, but they have their their regular, responsive search ads, and they have their Performance Max. Google will tell you, if you make a change, you need to wait 2 weeks to see what happened and before you can start optimizing. Well, with the Performance Max campaign, they'll tell you have to wait for a month. So you make a change, and now you're, according to Google, you should wait for a month to see what happens, and then you can optimize. Okay, that's a lot of time and money for a small business.
Yeah, well, and Google's not alone. I mean, Facebook certainly does that as well. You know, the conventional wisdom, even though you'll not find this written down anywhere, is that you need to be spending 30 to $40 a day on a Facebook ad campaign for Facebook to have enough data to make decisions about how it can most effectively optimize and deliver your campaign. And you just talked about what Google's doing. So the reality is, you know, if you're working with somebody that's not telling you stuff like this, and look, they're not trying to artificially jack up your price. They're trying to help you understand the way that the digital world works these days and the investment levels that you really need to be making. Can you get results with less? Yeah, but it's going to be less than optimal. And hey, that may be okay. And maybe that's the decision you have to make. But I know, Paul, you and I,
Your
we
ROI
really
is
want
going to
to
be
make sure,
less.
yeah, we just want to make sure that people are making good informed decisions. So, well, Paul, with that, we usually try to keep these relatively short. So we're going to wrap up. Thanks so much for being a guest today. It's always I always love talking shop with you because it's something I know we both care a lot about. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.